Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. You are about to join a frequency that will open your mind, expand your heart, and activate your spirit. Thank you for joining Kelly Meehan, Spirit Baby Medium and Master Energy Therapist. Kelly believes in the power of the Spirit Baby. She speaks with babies in spirit before life, in the womb, and after life. She supports, teaches, and guides others to tune into the intuitive and mystical parts of life for greater wisdom. Join her in meeting your soul baby and build your connection and relationship with deep love and trust. Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio with your host, Spirit Baby Medium, Kelly.
Welcome to episode 144, August 5th, 2022. Psychic predictions, agreements, and answers from Spirit Baby. What happens when a Spirit Baby is not coming? Are you sold on agreements? How can you access your innate power of Spirit Baby communication? What messages are you open to receive? I'm going to charge it up a little bit today. This is a strong conversation to have. I want to enlighten you. I want to charge your energy up. I want you to question things. I want you to be skeptical. I want you to look into the edges of your own fear. I feel like this is what it's like to be a human being in this time and still being that intuitive, supernaturalness, starlight, spark, divinity being that you are. And guess what? So is your baby. And so we are here now, August 5th, as I said. Beautiful energy of summer is still being blessed upon me. Out my window, I could see it. And the state of energy, the conscious energy, the world, we are continuing forward, aren't we? We are moving into different forms of connection with who we are and remembering that you are the center of potentiality. You are the creative force. So whether you're in conception, whether you're in pregnancy or healing through birth loss, or even conception, pregnancy to birth loss, you are a whole being inside. You are a spark of light. You are connection. And the internalness of you gets to be heard by your own experience, not by somebody else's experience or not somebody else's internal connection, your internal connection. And, I want to debunk, demystify a lot of different Spirit Baby intuitives out there or mediums or, not everybody is for everybody, as I always say. I do feel like I get a lot of messages from people saying, hey, there was a psychic prediction. It's such a, tacky, I feel like, to say psychic prediction. It just feels like old consciousness. We've evolved so much beyond needing these kind of predictive energies. But I get it. Like, who does not want to know their future? But here's the thing. If you are a high-frequency being, guess what? Your future is not set. And I know that makes people very uncomfortable. Oh, no, Kelly, do not say that. It's absolutely true. And it's okay if you're not a high-frequency being. That's not, that's your own deal. But things aren't so set out in predictive energies. Maybe a little bit. I always feel like there could be, I like to look at it maybe a 3-month predictive energy for people, but not everybody is predictable. And energy is energy, and things are in creation. Just imagine for a moment you're sitting here, and you're just sitting in your room, and maybe there's a window in front of you, maybe there's a window next to you. One window looks at the beautiful mountains, the other window looks at the ocean. And so not window is better than the other, but look, there's different connections to the force of energy of ocean, there's a different force connection to the energy of the mountain. And so maybe you want to walk up to that window and you were like, I really want to just gaze my eyes and feel the presence of that mountain, or maybe you want to go to that ocean and gaze the presence of that water element and be in relationship with that. Not one is better or wrong than the other. My point is that you have different paths before you, and they do have different outcomes. And so you have to be going inward to trust whatever that agreement is with yourself, that whatever path you're moving into, whether it's purely based on fear or whether it's purely based on trust. Or let's say it's a little bit of both. You could do a little bit of both too. And ultimately, you have to trust you to know what is coming for you. And it doesn't mean you're going to have every single answer. Even the best, most mediumistic, intuitive person, we've seen people that are quote-unquote famous for whatever their skill is, have had hardships and challenges that maybe were baffling and shocking to people. But here's the thing. Ultimately, everybody's a human being, and yes, we do have different, talents and abilities and skills, but not everything is predictable. Even if we kind of step back into 2020, there were a few people predicting a little bit, but I didn't find many people that were in big prediction with it. And what is the world in reality we're going to continue to create and build? Are we going to continue to create and build disconnection? It is an option, low frequency, of course. Or are we going to continue to build high frequency connections of love and the crumbling of old systems, money, fraud, pain, suffering? I do feel like we have choices, but remember, not everybody's aligned with love. And I know that's a hard one for most people. Not even the doctor, not even the fertility specialist, not even, maybe your mother, your father, not even these other connections. And ultimately that's just the truth. I mean, that's just, we could judge the hell out of it, or you can drop in and go, oh, okay, that's the truth for the fear that people are at, and that's who they are on a deeper level. But you get to be the spark. You get to go, oh, do I change that agreement within them? Do I change who they are? You be who you are, and in that, agreements change naturally, right? You feel the connection to your own source light, and you know that is guiding you, and you feel its potentiality, you feel its power. Even though you may be contained with fear and chaos around it, you go, nope, but it's still there. It's still a part of me. And even though there's hardship, negativity, you get to see where you want your energy to go. And remember, negativity isn't bad, right? It feels bad. And negativity has a negative word around it, negativity. But really, it's not about being negative to the detriment of your own health and consciousness and moving into horrific death. It's more of the negativity of expression. You're an emotional being, you're expressing it, and it's moving. You're constantly in a flowing, moving, expressive connection. And so when you're questioning, where is your spirit baby? What they signed an agreement. Where is this agreement they signed? You go show me. Like, what does that even mean, right? And I know I'm being a little pushy there because I don't believe that there are agreements. I know people are going to get upset when I say that. We can use those words, and that's fine. I think it really comes down to the interpretation of agreements. Because what if there is a very weak agreement somewhere, we'll call it? Maybe there's an ancestral link that has to be healed, and the agreement says, hey, if this ancestral link isn't healed, this agreement is null and void. I don't know. Or this is why I'm pushing the energies right now to go into your own inner agreement with yourself. What internal energy are you writing to meet your child in spirit, to get this highly evolved child to come into your world, into your family, to heal major, massive levels? And to me, it's like bursting through levels of energy with light. You are allowed to do that. I don't care what people are predicting. I've had people come to me and say, hey, I had a psychic and a medium tell me I'd never have a child. And I go, well, you go prove them wrong. Because what did they have to say that really is that powerful? It got you maybe to push you into a direction of saying, I feel this connection. And how many times have doctors predicted, you're not going to have a baby, this is just bad luck, this is not happening? And we can even look at the psychics and the doctors as being very similar, right? And where there are good doctors and there are good psychics, where there's great psychics and there are great doctors. And again, you are resonating whatever energy that you are calling out. Remember, you are a frequency. What are you putting out in your radar? Are you aware of that? You don't always have to be aware of your frequency. You really don't. The brain wants control and mind over that. You are just a signal of beauty and grace and awesomeness, and you get to do what you want with that. And so your inner agreement begins right now in this moment. I hold the tone, tuned in frequency with you. It is here. You're starting a new slate of energy. Whatever the agreement is, whether it's healing of the ancestors, healing of the past, healing of the future even, healing of the present. You are writing in that golden letter with the with the calligraphy pen, as we could say. You are in the heart space. Your agreement is in your heart space. You are a co-creating, you're a co-creative force with life, with humanity, with all living, and even non-living energies. And so don't get sold into this agreement that somehow centuries ago that you were told that that's how it's going to be, and you're sitting here looking at your watch, pointing at it, waiting, not taking action. Sometimes you need to take divine action, and sometimes you need to take divine solitude. And what do I mean by those two things? Sometimes you have to feel the energy and rush to go, oh, it's time to do. And other times you may feel like, oh, it's time to go inward, go into the turtle shell, go into hibernation. That is the purpose right now. And so I'm giving you your own power right now. You have the power to see where you are. And if you can have a tribe of others that support you in that, whether it's healers, therapists, friends, family, then you are on the mark. You are doing it. You are in alignment. And again, the alignment doesn't always have to be positive, flow of light beaming through your window at every second. Your flow can look messy and all over the place, and it could take you to deep, dark levels. You are still in alignment. Can you imagine that? You can be in alignment and be negative. I know people don't want to be negative. It feels really shitty. I know when I hit dark places and internalness that feels overwhelming, I don't want to play in there, but I also know that it has value. What is the value that it's taking me? What is this emotional turbulence that is just, can I let it be here? So let's say you're on a conception journey, and I've seen this with a lot of wombs. There's turbulence, let's say, in the uterus, in the ovaries, but it's really not the physical cells of the being. It can manifest that way, but it's this frequency, this tone of energy in that sacral, in that lower body, in the consciousness of you, is that resistance, that block, that restructuring of obstacle. And so knowing that, your internalness, your energetic freedom will change your physicality. So letting the emotions continue to move you into spiritual energetic awareness, I would say. And as you are healing, moving through your own body of consciousness, and I say healing is really important for women on a conception journey. I feel like in partners as well, but feeling like, I use the term awakening, but I feel like there's a healing happening, right? And of course, I know we're always healing. We're always here in this world to heal, right? But looking at it from that perspective, because, there is so much curiosity. There is so much happening in that space. And so you're on a healing journey, and accept that, build forgiveness, build love, self-care around that deep listening of yourself and your own soul, and that deep listening of Spirit Baby and that soul. Where is the Spirit Baby soul? Can you really access that innate power, as I said, of your Spirit Baby communication? Absolutely fucking yes. If you don't have a big fucking yes right now, listen to my other podcast, because I see co-creative energy is powerful right now. You are allowed to co-create. You are allowed to heal your lineage. You are allowed to go deep into spaces of lack and limitation. You have the innate power. So now you have responsibility. That's what I'm offering you right now, and that could be very overwhelming. What do you mean, Kelly? I have responsibility to be in communication, but I don't hear anything. I don't know anything. I don't sense anything. I don't hear. I don't feel. Why have you created that? Why have you created that connection? You don't have to be superpower Spirit Baby medium at all, but you have to recognize the energy of life is right here, right before you, right in front of you. I am offering that to you. I have always been a highly sensitive being. My new joke now is I'm like, if there's some toxicity somewhere, put Kelly there, because she will feel it instantly in her etheric energy body, into her physical body. Can that be dangerous to me? Kind of at times, if I allow myself to become toxic, right, and allow myself to be in those electromagnetic currents of harm. But my instincts are very strong. If I'm put into even environments that have any type of sprays or toxic elements, I'll be the first one to say, hey, something's wrong. And then other people go, oh, yeah, I feel that too, physically in my body. And I go, yeah, that's not okay. We should leave this room. There's spraying something in it, or there's something off, or and again, your innate power is your own, and your sensitivity is your own. It does not have to be like my sensitivity or your friend's sensitivity or that psychic over there. I'm here to teach you that and be the messenger as well for you. This is why I offer so many different ways for you to build that before life connection with spirit baby communication, because guess what? Your spirit baby wants that from you. I'm just being a messenger. Your children want this from you. They want to say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I'm here. And tap, tap, tap. Let me tap, tap, tap on your telepathic messages in your mind. It's me you're thinking about. I'm sending you words, phrases, not just your thoughts. But then you have to trust that. You have to get out of any type of hyper trauma arousal of fear of, am I allowed to do that? No, you drop in, you do your inner work, and connect with your body, connect with baby beings. I can't tell you how many sessions where babies naming the things in the house, talking about random things that you're thinking about. Why would baby tell me this? Because they want you to know that they're there. They want you to know that you have connection. And so you get to either continue that connection and bring them into this world, or you get to continue that connection and see them in another world. There's no this way or that way answer. And how you receive your messages is, you have to be open to however that is. As I said, the telepath, right, is very strong. The feeler sensor, the empath. I feel like the telepath and the empath are the biggest. Of course, in the telepath, it could be very visual too. The visual dreamer, the daydreamer, the nighttime dreamer. And this is, could be a reminder to you if you haven't tuned in for quite some time, or even if you know, yes, that's right. Am I a dreamer, a daydreamer, a night dreamer, a telepath, an empath, a visual sensor? Again, there's no right or wrong way. Or maybe you see the world symbolically outside of you in communication. Maybe there are things in your environment that are being connected with spirit baby being. Of course, why would they not? They can affect the birds, the squirrels, the butterflies. They can affect the lights in your house. They can move things. They could do whatever. Why would they not be able to do that? And so I've had babies tell me that, hey, I send a breeze of energy around my mom's face. I want you to tell her that. Okay. Or I mess with the lights out on the porch. That's not an electrical dysfunction. I'm doing that because I want my mom's attention, and that's the only way I feel like they really are getting. Can that happen? That's a true story about a little spirit girl who just passed away. Are you going to ignore it, or are you going to go, oh, you're going to receive it? Because guess what? When you start to receive the yes and the trust, you get to open up and see more. And remember, these children are awakening us. They are not, they mean business, kind of. They're coming in with their own set of instructions, their own wisdom, right? You don't have to teach them wisdom. You could give them basic human skills of, here's the bathroom, we eat food in our bodies, here's the bed we sleep in. Really basic earth constructs. All the other stuff, yeah, there's emotional connection too, but they're emotional, spiritual, evolved beings already. You don't have to teach evolution to a spark that already has a connection. You just have to get out of the way, right? Get out of the way and listen and facilitate whatever feels in attunement with your own heart. And maybe there's traditions in your own family. Maybe there's no traditions. Maybe you're just kind of figuring it out as you go. Let's say your spirit baby is embodied, newborn, infancy child. You're just figuring it out as you go. It's not so bad, because your child, starlight energy spark, where are they from? Where's their multidimensionals, and how do you facilitate that? I'm highly inspired by these children that are very star children. I really am, because actually, yesterday I was in the park, and I've been having a rough week, and physical stuff, energetic stuff, emotional stuff, and this little boy was scared on this little bridge, and the father's energy was very unique for this space. It felt like he was an eccentric person. And this little boy was so sweet and so delicate. And he was crying. And the father was like, "You're okay." You know, we do this to our children. "You're okay. Everything's fine. You're okay. You're a big boy," he says, right? And I could see that there was no ill intention. It was really, "I love you. I see that you're in fear right now, but I don't know what to do. This is the father's energy I'm reflecting on. So I'm going to tell you you're a big boy." And the little boy says, I'm a big boy. And I just wanted to go and hold him. And I was just staring at him, probably in just awe, right? And I'm going, oh my gosh, that little being. I was like, I wonder if his father knows that he's a little star being. And I could feel it so strongly. His presence to me was like this meek, maybe even perceived weak little child was so powerful. And I'm like, do people miss this? Do they just kind of don't even notice this? And this is where the feeler, sensor, the knowing who we are in our heart space, knowing our multidimensionalness, knowing our quadrality, knowing our parallel universal connections. It's not sci-fi. It really is not. It's really just being a person. If you're disconnected to your multidimensional way and you've shut it down, then that's your own fault. That's your own plan on this earth. I don't know. I don't feel like that's the plan for people. I feel like if we're really evolving, we're connecting, right? And here's the thing, your children, they're going to connect you, especially babies before life. They're out here to connect you to their multidimensionalness because that's the only way you're going to communicate with them. So they're preparing you for that psychic, spiritual parenthood, more maybe than you even realize. Isn't that pretty powerful? And so this little boy, again, we never know where people impact us. And that's the beauty of life, I feel like, because it could be the person sitting there in their rocking chair looking next to a tree. What is the essence of their soul, right? It could be this, this wild 15-year-old, teenager screaming and yelling. It's like, what is the impact of that? What is their energy of their own soul self? Or it could be, this little tiny infant, gazing into your presence and just activating some other part of you. And so, coming back into that starlight, that divinity, that soul, that light, we never know where we're going to be. Maybe even, what's the word? Initiated? Maybe it's excited, or some new energy comes into us. Look, this little boy and their story, they have no idea the impact they made on me in that moment, but they did. And that to me is me being in awareness with the world and the connection to listen. I am listening to the planets below my feet. I am listening to other multidimensional things in that moment. And it's not overwhelming. It's not like the satellite has to pick up every little thing either. It's just presence. I'm being a part of the world. I'm noticing the park and the beautiful lake in the background. And I'm also noticing the edginess of my emotional body right now and this physical issue I'm having. I'm like, oh, look at all these parts are existing together. Can you imagine that? I can be in anguish of negativity. I feel it. I could be in the spark of just the light of the soul star that's right before me. And I could be in relationship with that beautiful lake in my visual periphery and in the sounds of my ears. Again, looking at yourself right from that multidimensional space of being in witness with so many parts. And then, of course, you can sit in meditation and access other realities, other connections that feel fitting. Or you can, go into the other realities of your own body, even in your organs, your body, your own presence of your physical being of breath and mind. So there's not one way to do it, I would say. There's so many different ways to build that creative connection with yourself, with your heart. And so when there's times where you're feeling super discouraged, or you're over questioning, or you're like, what is real, what is not real, I'm going to say congratulations. I'm going to say that because, I want to welcome you to the connection of truth. Because you are finding your way, right? And you believe in yourself, don't you? You are here tuning in, listening to Spirit Baby Radio. You are in agreement with something greater than yourself. You are being of service to Spirit Baby being. You're being of service to this before life, this great mystery. This brings people into this world. And you're not being selfish for it. You're being called on an instinctual level to bring this being and create a family with your partner, without your partner, however that works for you. But you're doing it, in your own authentic way. And that is New World energy. That is high frequency. That is where we get to go as a planet. Yes, there will be destruction. I'm not going to talk about that now. But it doesn't really matter as much in your own evolution. I mean, it does a little bit. I shouldn't say that. But we have to move into old parts to die. How about that? This sounds nicer. Old parts have to die for new things to be reborn. So allow yourself, if you've received, wherever you're at in your own psychic space, receive yourself. No matter what energies come up, you are an evolved, co-creative being, and your world is always changing. You are always changing. Some call it miracles. You may be trying to conceive, and one moment you're pregnant, and then you're giving birth, and then your child is in your arms. So your golden agreement is your own. Write that agreement now in this time and moment. Again, you're tuning into the frequency of growth inside you, a part of you. Your child is here. How are they manifesting? Where are they coming into creation with you? And being open to be that back and forth flow, the messenger, the messages, the answers. Openness, continuing to be open, continuing to question everything. We are in a world right now where you must question everything, even if it's holistic positive information or if it's hardcore medical information. We absolutely need to question everything because you are not a cookie cutter soul. You, like your child, are a unique soul, and what you resonate with and what you feel attuned with is your own. So I send you off with activating the internalness of your own heart space. Your heart holds your psychic predictions, your agreements, and your answers from Spirit Baby. And I want to thank you. I want you to sit with that, let it settle in, seeing what your next step is on the path towards conception, towards pregnancy, towards healing with loss, that your Spirit Baby is in connection with you. You are here. You are tuned in. And thank you for joining episode 144, Psychic Predictions, Agreements, and Answers from Spirit Baby. If you like my podcast, please subscribe and leave reviews. Join, of course, my newsletter, and you will get a tips on Spirit Baby Communication 101. And please check out my book. It's a journal, Sacred Communication, a Spirit Baby journal, and Spirit Baby Oracle cards, Soul Answers from Spirit Baby. And you can learn more about VIP retreats, private one-on-one sessions, programs, classes. Let's see, where are we now in August 2022? I just came off of doing 4 weeks, amazing deal for Spirit Baby Communication after miscarriage healing, and that was incredible. And a new membership has evolved called Motherhood to Mediumship, which is going to be offered very, very soon. And keep an eye if you are ready to step up and move into creation with your baby. Co-creation, I believe, will begin in September 2022, and it was launched this year, and there are women in pregnancy coming out of this 8-week series. And so you can visit that here at spiritbabymedium.com. And here's more.
This is Spirit Baby Radio. Thank you for joining Kelly in the energy of awareness, love, healing, and soul communication. Please join the next episode at www.soulbabycommunication.com.